Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. We're doing a whole lot of technical things here, so bear with me as I get used to pressing a bunch of buttons and some new hardware to try to make this thing work for us here. So I'll be pressing some buttons, and it will be sort of kind of mixed up at certain times. So I just want you guys to understand that it's me experimenting a little bit here with what's going on here. So in fact, I'm trying to bring up a split screen right now to see if I can push that over here, and hopefully it won't be. Yeah, you see now that really is fuzzy there, and I don't know why that's fuzzy. So let's see if I do this here, what happens with this screen, and see if it comes up here, because I should have on this screen here that's fuzzy. There should be another screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Now you see, many more than what I'm going to talk about, but I think, in my opinion, that some of these are the most important ones, because I believe we Americans have lost our way. I haven't lost my way, but I believe many Americans have. We've lost our way, and so I'm going to try to right the ship here and right the course, and have some straight talk and get straight on the point with you here about that. Also, we're going to have some fun with some of these videos that are popping up now. Some of these sarcastic political satire and some of these sarcastic videos that make a lot of points. So we're going to be talking about that too as well. So let's kind of just get into it right now and jump into it. And as things kind of pop up here on the screen, bear with me. This is the first time that I've kind of have utilized this system, and hopefully you can hear me. In fact, there is a way in which that I can check while we're broadcasting, but I'm going to try to stay away from that. And I can't see anything really well without my trusty Sherlock Holmes glass. So okay, all right. So we're streaming in a lot of different places. All right, that's good. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right. Hey, that's my buddy, the guru, Lee Baby Michaels, who set this up for me the last week and a half or so. All right, so let's kind of chat a little bit about what I think is going wrong. So the big question of the day, you see Donald Trump and President Trump, and as you folks know, I believe in President Trump. I think he's doing a very good job. So I'm just going to set that as the foundation right there. Now, for those of you who don't want to listen to me anymore or don't want to watch me, then go away. Because frankly, I don't really care. In my opinion, I think Donald Trump, President Trump, is doing just a wonderful job. He's bringing back a certain respect back to America, and unfortunately, so many Americans today don't understand that word respect and honor and ethic and morality. Sort of like this guy Cohen. What a rat. He's a rat. He's a sniveling, whining, crying, little horse-faced rat. That's what he is. He knew what he was getting into. He knew how he had to protect his client. And now he rats out. Rats out. You got 3 years to rat out. Hey, you don't rat, man. You do the time. He did the crime, not President Trump. So you do the time. But nevertheless, we have so many people that don't understand honor and respect and ethic and morality today in any way, shape, or form. Right down to people living every day in your town or in your city. I mean, it's just amazing. Let's see now, something popped up. Your Mac will go to sleep pretty soon because it's only 14% battery left. All right, so I'm going to reach back here and hook my battery up. I told you today's show is going to be one of those shows where I'm sort of learning as I go today, and you get to see me do stuff here that I normally would have set up already or normally know quite well on how to conduct these things, and I'm learning him, making him having to become the New York gangster president that I love, and I'll explain that in a little bit, what I mean by that. This guy can't be strong-armed. This guy can't be pushed around. This guy will fight back, and he will fight back with every piece of ammunition that he has. And I believe that he has a lot of things on a lot of these people, because don't forget, he's been part of the political scene, President Trump, for about 40 years now. Ever since he was a young man, he was continually contributing to the demon crazies and the Republicans. You see, I think the Republicans are stinky Republicans, and I think the demon crazies are demon crazy Democrats. I, quite frankly, don't like either of them, either parties. In fact, I've re-registered myself to an independent conservative and more leaning towards an independent middle-of-the-road kind of person. Because these stinky Republicans have just turned into a bunch of whining, sniveling people that have no chutzpah, no huevos, no balls to stand up for what they believe in and what they say. Because, like all politicians, the stinky Republicans, as well as okay, now a thing just popped up that said you may experience, because I'm taxing everything in the computer. So this is good if these things happen. But these stinky Republicans, as well as these demon crazies, they're all cut from the same cloth. And that is, they go to Congress not really super wealthy, like in the Senate, like President Trump came to the presidency. They have to raise so much money to campaign and finance their campaign that they become just the end of the puppet string for the puppet master who's in the shadows. Sort of like the sheep being run by the shepherd on the hill behind the tree that you can't see, and all you see is a little doggy, the sheepdog, nipping at the feet of the sheep, but that is actually being controlled by the shepherd. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of where these demon crazies and these Republicans lie. And then they come to Congress and the Senate, and within 10 years, they're worth $25 to $50 to $100 million. Now, there's a specific reason for that. They have all the insider trading secrets. They know what's happening before you and I, because they set the law. They create what is to happen by the things that they do, by the laws that they set, by the rules that they create. So if you are the king, the one-eyed king in the land of the blind, you are going to be absolutely wealthy beyond amorous. And the reason for that is because you know everything that's happening, because you created everything to happen. And so it's all insider trading. They can stop something from being cultivated for a little while so they can get themselves positioned better, and those that back them in their campaign in a better position to profit, and then they can move to have that thing released and that something be cultivated. And man, they make so much money. And so they all go out like Nancy Pigalicious, worth about $200 million. Now, folks, I don't understand how Americans can keep allowing our professional politicians to rape you. They're raping you. Okay? And they've been raping you your whole life. But yet you do nothing about it. You just bend over and take it. You allow these people to create so much wealth. It's unbelievable. When they leave Congress or the Senate, they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. All these world contacts and networking that they create. And then they go out and they get a book deal or a film deal or a Netflix deal worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And yet, you know this is going on, but you allow it to happen. You see, that's part of the problem I'm going to talk about today, is that you Americans, allow this to happen. I don't care whether you're a stinky Republican or you're a demon-crazy Democrat. You allow this to happen, and you've allowed this to happen your whole life. Well, my question to you is, now that the veil, because of President Trump, who doesn't get manipulated by the money, because, quite frankly, he didn't campaign with anybody else's money, a very small fraction. He put his own money up. I don't know what your thoughts are, but when President Trump has pulled away the curtain of corruption and showed everybody how corrupt these people are, why do you think so many stinky Republicans and demon-crazy Democrats decided not to rerun for Congress and the Senate? Why do you think that is? Because they didn't want to be exposed. And not only that, the Me Too movement and the movement to protect children, these professional politicians, ladies and gentlemen, they are so deviant and so perverted, they actually have a slush fund set aside to pay off all their perverted and perversion and their deviant acts upon children and people and men and women. They actually have a slush fund in civil lawsuits that take care of that. Congressman Tony Cardenas is one of the last ones. He's allegedly messed around with a underage girl on a campaign stop at a golf course somewhere in the Los Angeles area when he was running for Congress the first time. And she finally came forward. She's passed the statute of limitations here in California, but she's going to be suing, and she filed a lawsuit in civil court. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. The congressman, who I've known for a long time, and I never would have thought would have ever got that accusation against him, but with the way Congress and the Senate are in the slush fund, and the fact that for the first couple of years of his congressional hood, the last couple of years, he's been able to raise $9 to $10 million and spread that around the demon crazy's political candidates for their campaigns, because he's the head of the caucus of the Latino or Hispanic movement. I don't have the exact name. They're going to take care of him. Right? What's going to happen is he's going to settle out of court. She's going to become a multimillionaire. Right? And then he's not going to pay a dime because it's going to come out of the slush fund. It's pretty amazing. And this has been going on for time immemorial in our country. And you know that. But yet, you keep putting these people back in office. Why? I can't figure that out. Why? Why? Why do you allow yourselves to be lied to be cheated, to be raped, and to be taken advantage of? You, the American citizen. It's unbelievable to me. And Donald Trump, yeah, so what? Man, he loved to have wild sex with women while he was married before he was president. Well, don't we forget about JFK? What about LBJ? What about Nixon? What about Obama? What about Clinton? The stories on Obama will come out. Watch. But what about these people? You didn't seem to care about them. But you see, you're after President Trump because he's exposing everybody. And he holds a black book, in my opinion. I bet you he has a black book on everybody. Because remember, as I said, he's been around politics paying contributions to both demon crazies and Republicans for over 40 years. They all loved him. They were backslapping and kissing him like he was God's gift to the world. But when he became president, they hate him because now they can't get any more money from him. And not only that, he's not part of the New World Order. Now, why does America not understand this? Well, one, America doesn't read anymore. There's really only one or two major book chains left. America doesn't read anymore. America gets its news by these types of broadcasts online and from their friends. And America gets the news visually. They don't have to translate words into imagination and understand what words mean when they can see pictures. See, when you stop reading, you stop exercising your ability to have thought, to have imagination, creativity. You stop exercising this muscle up here so that it can't think abstractly. It can't work around a problem and find a solution. It doesn't become solution-based. It becomes reactionary-based. All right? And so that's one reason, in my opinion. America is told bedtime stories by a Kindle or a app that will read you the latest #1 bestseller. All the authors go into the studio now and they read their book from page 1 to the last page so that you can be read to like a little child, like your mommy and daddy used to do before you could read. Well, what is created is people that can't read anymore, let alone comprehend what they read. It's pretty amazing. That's a problem. One of the other problems we have is the lack of our schools teaching true history. The colleges are all slanted to the demon crazies, lunatics. The private schools are all slanted to the Republicans. Nobody's really telling the truth. So if you can't read and cognitively think and think through issues and challenges to find solutions, then you go to school, but if they just feed you what they want you to know, that's what you absorb and become. There's an old cliche. Don't hang around with bad guys, because even if you are not a bad guy, everybody thinks you are. It's the same thing. You see, here's the issue. The issue is our schools don't teach the truth anymore. All right. And parents haven't gotten the information. History is slowly being rewritten by those that want you to believe in a certain way. And don't think that I'm one party or not. They both are the same party. There is no difference. One rapes you one way, the other rapes you another way. That's why I voted for Donald Trump, because he wasn't part of a party. He utilized and maneuvered the Republican Party to become president, because as an independent, that would never, ever happen. Never. There will never be a third-party president in the United States of America, because the money won't allow it. The money comes from the major corporations, which comes from the major banks, which comes from the major insurance companies, which comes from the major entities that rule all the centralized banks around the world, like our Federal Reserve, which comes from a dark order of a few people that run this planet Earth. It's not controversy or conspiracy. It's a fact. I've spoken to this many times, and I've quoted facts for you to go find out and read for yourself. I engage you to bring up the black nobility of Europe. If you do just one thing, the black nobility of Europe.com, and it has nothing to do with the pigment of your skin. It'll blow your mind. And read all the hot spots that come up, all the hot words. You'll be reading that for years. It is so filled full of information. It's unbelievable. I've been studying that entrance and for at least 10 years now. 15. It's unbelievable. The black nobility of Europe. But you see, we as Americans, one, we don't read anymore. 2, we don't learn the truth anymore. 3, our parents don't teach us anymore because there is no communication anymore. Because of this device, the smartphone, it has destroyed the ability to communicate. All the technology in these cars now, to keep your kids quiet and engaged, you are allowing some other source to engage them. You as parents are not. You should engage them. You should teach them. You should talk with them. You should interact with them. You should play games with them. But that's not being done. Kids are becoming drop-off kids. That's what I call them. Dropped off here, dropped off there, dropped off here, whether they're even in their own houses. They're dropped off in front of a smartphone, a computer, a game on TV, PlayStation, whatever. They're drop-off kids. So how can they learn? They won't. If the parents can't teach them, and the schools can't teach them, and our system is designed that way, how can they learn? How is that possibility for them ever going to materialize? It's not. That's what's going to happen. And it isn't already. And that's part of what's the problem in our country. This leads to another issue, and that is no respect. And I started here with that. No respect. No respect for the president. No respect for the milkman. No respect for the doctor. No respect for the ditch digger. No respect for your mom. No respect for your sister. No respect for your friends. People don't even know how to respect anymore. They don't even think about respect anymore, because respect is not part of the lexicon, which leads us to no honor, which leads us to no trust, which leads us to no loyalty, which leads us to no morality, which leads us to no ethic, which leads us to lead us down the road to do the me, myself, and I way of living. I got's mine. I don't care if you gets yours. I got's mine. You see, this is the things that are happening to our country. We're forgetting what made this country great. The JudeoChristian religion made America what it is today. Not the Islamic religion, not the Buddhist religion, not the Thai religion, not the Hindi religion, not the Zoroastrianism religion, not pagan religion, not satanic religion. The Christian religion made America what it is today. The great, great, great America. Without that, we would have been Catholic, just like Europe. And we can trace that back to Martin Luther in 1511 and the Protestant Reformation. Look it up. It's a time when Martin Luther, who was a devout priest from the Roman Church, and he saw some other priest coming through his town one day asking for indulgences. And that's sort of what your congressmen and senators and your professional politicians pay. They pay an indulgence to keep themselves out of trouble. And that's what the priest was doing for the people and the monarchies. If you committed murder, rape, pillaged, stole, cheated, there'd be a price tag you would pay to the Catholic Church. It was called an indulgence. The worse and more horrendous your crime, the more you had to pay. How do you think the Catholic Church got so wealthy, being the wealthiest entity on God's blue-green earth? By hitting the lottery? The Roman lottery? No. Indulgences. Indulgences can be paid in land. It could be paid in cattle, pigs, horses. It could be paid in food. It could be paid in silver and gold. It could be paid in political influence. It could be paid in the payback system. It could be paid a lot of ways if you want to go see God someday. You have to pay an indulgence. And this upset Martin Luther in 1511. And he said, no, 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 no. Your way to God is by faith. By faith. And he printed up a proclamation, certain bunch of rules that defined his argument, and he posted it on every church door he could. And they started to hunt him down. And because the Bible, because the printing press in Germany was just being started, he was able to mass produce the Bible. Yeah. And get it out and teach people to read, because nobody had a Bible or could read. That was part of the Dark Ages. Keep people poor, dumb, and stupid. Gee, I wonder what they're doing now. Destroying your education, dumb and stupid, poor, taking everything you have, including your life. Wow. Boy, the model hasn't changed much, has it? Why do you keep allowing it to happen? Because you don't read anymore. That's right. It's not being taught to you by the schools. They don't want you to know. Have you ever wondered why they never taught generations how to balance a checkbook and manage their money in high school? Because they don't want you to know. They want to get your money. Who are they? The ones that truly run the planet Earth. Now, here's the point. Okay? Because of the Protestant Reformation, we had the opportunity in America, when America was formed, we had the opportunity to be a Protestant Reformation country, a Christian country. Right after the Protestant Reformation, when the monarchs stopped paying their indulgence to the Vatican for 30 years, the Vatican was kind of upset. So they created the Dark Pope and the Jesuit order. They're sort of their assassins. And they had one job: get the money and hunt Martin Luther down. And they found him, and they poisoned him. But 30 years of the creation of all kinds of different Christian religions, free from the guilt and the filth of the Catholic indulgences. Your way to God is by faith and belief. And because of that, America was created as a Judeo-Christian nation without the chains of the Vatican wrapped around us like they were in Europe and everywhere else on the planet Earth, except here. So the first 150 years or so, we were free of that challenge. That's why our country grew. We grew because we were free. Not free to worship who we wanted to, but free of the burdens of the Vatican that had been around for thousands of years already. Thousands of years. Free to create something from the get-go that was pure. And we did. And that led in part to the great United States of America, the JudeoChristian religion. See, it was a glue that glued us all together in a more positive way than the world had ever seen before. It was a faith and a glue that made this country great. And part of that glue is the United States flag. And part of that glue is the national anthem and the lyrics. And part of that glue is the Constitution and the amendments, or the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. And part of that glue are the other very significant documents that we have in this country, like the Federalist Papers. A part of that glue is how we stand up and respect our country, our flag, our national anthem, our national hymn, which is different than the anthem. A part of that glue that we all have in this country that made it great were these things that created trust and loyalty and respect and honor and ethic and moral. Part of that glue created our judicial system, which came over from common law in England, but we had a little different slant on it. You see, we've lost that. The breakup of the American family, no matter what color you are. The destruction of our religious base. The destruction of our schools. The destruction of your health. The destruction of your mind. It's all a created act to destroy America. So it really comes down to a question. Are you going to let them do that? Are you going to let the stinky Republicans do that? Are you going to let the demon-crazy lunatic Democrats do that? Well, you have been. Wake up, America. Because if you don't, we will go down and become a nation of tyranny like no other on the planet Earth. That's why you'll hear me say, thank God for Donald Trump, my New York gangster president. That's why I voted for him. I knew he wasn't perfect. Who is? But I knew he didn't need anybody. He can look you in the eye and say, I'll close the government down. We need a wall. And I don't care what you say. See, the only way you be a gangster is to be a gangster yourself. And the world has been a gangster against America since the end of World War II. They've been taking advantage of us. And all the professional politicians have been bending over and cracking a smile for them to get pile-drived right to the ground. And you and I have suffered from that tremendously. Tremendously. It takes a gangster to beat a gangster. The professional politicians are gangsters. You have mafia families here. One is called the family of the Congress. The other one is called the familia of the Senate. The other one is called the familia of the judicial. The other one is called the familia of the big corporations, the banking and insurance entities, the Vatican, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the English monarchy. These are all families of crime and destruction and murder and perversion and deviant. These are all things that they do. And the corrupt governments. And along comes Donald Trump. And he's his own family. He's a New York gangster. Yep. Him and his dad before him. And his grandpa started it all, who came over from Russia and was of Jewish faith. You see, that's why I voted for him. I knew he would be doing exactly what he's doing. And all these people wouldn't know what to do with themselves because they never faced the gangsters. They never faced a gangster like the gangsters that they are. And the world hasn't either. That's what's wrong with America. The glue is being torn apart. That's right. And soon we're not going to have any glue that's going to keep us together. And when that happens, I only pray for your soul that you are prepared with a lot of bullets and a lot of band-aids. And you're prepared to protect yourself and your family with water and food. And you're prepared to understand that it's you against everything. So when you understand, if you want to have that kind of life in the future coming, then understand, you just let the status quo take it all back. The Jesse T Show. That's straight on the point in the world, according to Torrero. All right, we're going to have some fun right now. So making a quick transition here. I love some of these political videos. I think they are so funny. And I'm going to play a few of them here. They're busting me up. I'm going to kind of go through my site here and play a few of these things. Look at these characters. This isn't a political video, guys. But what do you think about these guys? Are these guys like insane in the membrane? Check it out what they're doing. It's unbelievable. Is that just crazy or what? I mean, does it blow your mind? These guys jumping from building to building to building like that? I don't care. You could never get me to do something like that. That would never happen on the watch of Jesse T. Absolutely not. One slip and you're a dead person. And we've seen that happen. Unbelievable. I think these guys are just crazy in the membrane. You know, I mean, they're just crazy. Hey, these are my friends that came on by the studio, the DreamTeamDirectors.com, Bayu and Daniel, and check out their program on YouTube. They got a great show, and they came by, and we had a great time yesterday. You can check out the show on my Facebook timeline. Right here is the Facebook timeline, so you can check it out. Or you can go to YouTube. We really want you to go to YouTube now. But I wanted to show you a couple of other things. I don't know if you heard, but Dog, the bounty hunter Chapman, his wife is very ill. Is probably going to die. She is dying. She just got the cancer came back and it's spread into her lungs now, and it's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. So we need to pray for her and pray for the dog. He's a good guy. I've met him in person many times. He's a good guy. Really, really is. California is considering taxing your text messages. I just got to get out of this communist-run state. That's all there is to it. They're going to start taxing your text messages. And you want to know why? Because we live in a communist state. California is a communist state. They want to take that money, grease their pockets, the politicians, through the PUC, and then they want to give it to the poor so they can have cell phones paid for. Why can't they buy their own friggin' cell phone and get a job? Why do I got to take care of them? I don't care about them having a phone or not. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to play this, but it's loaded full of adult language. And before I play this version of it, this was the big meeting between Pigalicious, President Trump, Dick Shiny Head Schumer, and the ever-so-quiet Vice President Pence. Okay? So, but I'm going to go to... I don't know if you saw the original one, oh, Europe is shouting, France, we want Trump. We want Trump. UK, Spain, we want Trump. Spain, Germany, we want Trump. Ireland, we want Trump. You can't have him. We already got him. This is pretty amazing. Now, I know you guys may have seen this already, but before I jump into a couple of more videos here, which I'm going to have to change screens, I just want you to see this argument that they're... Hey, I'm doing something on Twitter. I go to my Twitter site, Jesse Torrero, Twitter, at Jesse Torrero. You'll see these sayings. Every morning I put one up. This was one on my Twitter show at twitter.com. If you don't start, you'll never finish. I'm putting a lot of these sayings up that I sort of raised my family on, and I think it'd be helpful. That's our friend Alex Zolt. I always miss his name. Alex Zolt, America's pianist, musical ministry, terrific stuff. In fact, I'm going to load up some of his music and play that, put that in our rotation here. Okay, this was the original argument. It's about 58 seconds. So I'm going to play this for you guys, just so I can play the political, the one full of satire. And it's like Richard Pryor meets Red Fox, meets the worst profane, cursing mouth comedians you can think of today. But this here is the one that you got to check it out. This is what stemmed it all. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are here about this, quite actually. It would be interesting to know what your thoughts are. Here you go.
No. And then you open it up very quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have
You
said...
want to know something?
You said
okay,
it.
you want to put that
You
on my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down. And I'm going to shut it down for border
But we
security.
believe you shouldn't shut it down.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I love my New York gangster president. I don't want these people in my country that are here illegally and are not doing anything to support our country and making it great. I don't want that. I want them gone. I don't want them here. They're murderers. They're killers. They come over here. They take from our system. You want to come here legally? Come here legally with open arms. I'll support you 1,000,000 times. You don't want to come here legally? I don't want you here. Now this is a communist. Americans don't understand what a true communist looks like. a social communist, socialist communist. Socialism is just a fancy word for communism. She's a communist, but she's also a stupid communist. But check her out, man. This is on CNN. This is an entity that is partial to her. Okay? Partial to her. All right. Come on. Why am I losing my connection here? I put brand new batteries in you. You shouldn't be losing the connection. You see? There we go. We finally get connected again. Okay. Now check this out. This is you people voted for this Ocasio-Cortez. I don't even have a nickname for her yet, except La Stupida.
Your platform has called for various new programs, including Medicare for all, housing as a federal right, a federal jobs guarantee, free public college, canceling all student loan debt. According to nonpartisan and left-leaning studies friendly to your cause, including the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities or the Tax Policy Center, the overall price tag is more than $40 trillion in the next decade. You recently said in an interview that increasing taxes on the very wealthy plus an increased corporate tax rate would make $2 trillion over the next 10 years. So where's the other $38 trillion going to come from?
Well, one of the things that we need to realize when we look at something like Medicare for all would save the American people a very large amount of money. And what we see as well is that these systems are not just pie in the sky.
I'm talking about the overall package. You say it's not pie in the sky, but $40 trillion is quite a bit of money. And the taxes that you talked about raising to pay for this, to pay for your agenda, only count for 2. And we're going by left-leaning analysts.
Right. Well, when you look again at how our health care works, currently we pay.
I'm assuming I'm not going to get an answer for the other $38 trillion.
I mean, it's bizarre, to say the least.
Man, do you want to spend a lot of my tax money on these proposals that you and Bernie and others have? Medicare for all, college tuition, maybe even housing. How do you pay? How do you sell it?
So first of all, the thing that we need to realize is people talk about the sticker shock of Medicare for all. They do not talk about the sticker shock of the cost of our existing system.
You know, I do think that we are going to see an evolution in our economic system of an unprecedented degree, and it's hard to say what direction that takes. You know, I joke that
you're skeptical that capitalism is going to continue to be the right answer.
Yeah, I think it's at least a question. I think it's absolutely a question.
A lot of these folks were in their political heyday in third wave 90s politics, and they were campaigning, and they were really kind of connected most to an electorate when they were fighting for these seats, when they got these seats, when they were campaigning most, when we had more of an American middle class. And so I think that politically, this like upper middle class is probably more moderate, but that upper middle class doesn't exist anymore in America.
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue. You know, for me, I'm a firm believer in finding a two-state solution.
Can you believe it?
Your platform has called for various new programs, including...
Can you just believe that? I mean, you Americans put that woman in office. I mean, really? You put that woman in office. It's a mind blower to me. It's beyond the conceivability of realism. So with that, I have to play this. I've got to play this political satire video. I've got to play this because it is so funny. I just hope that I can find it. Let's see. Okay, ready? You'll like this one too. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with Americans. You guys have gone off the rocker. That's all I got to say. It's unbelievable. Check this out. You put this woman in office.
We need to invent technology that's never even been invented yet, like metal detecting sandals or like a necktie fan. What about like a toilet headrest? Or maybe some anti-flatulence underwear? Or how about a paper cut prevention device? How about like a talking cat? Or what about like a device that stops you from stepping on a Lego block? Or maybe a flashlight that can see in the dark? Or maybe a car key that can find itself? Or how about a watch that tells time? Or maybe a camera that takes pictures? Oh, what about a mirror that you could see yourself in? Oh my gosh, what about umbrellas for your shoes? Or maybe a cell phone that you could call people on? How about a battery-operated battery charger? This just came to me. What about a TV that you could watch TV shows on? Or what about a toaster that cooks bread? How about dehydrated water? Maybe a DVD rewinder? What about a steering wheel tray so I can eat while I drive? Let's get to work, guys. These inventions are not going to invent themselves. Or maybe we can invent an invention that invents inventions. Wow. I just blew my own mind.
Now,
we need to invent technology that's never even been invented yet, like metal detecting sandals or like a neck.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Oh, you'll like this one. You're gonna love this. This is Ocasio explaining economics, and she is an economics.
Okay, the Industrial Revolution to me.
She is an economics. This is political satire, guys. She's an economics graduate. Okay.
Mitch Cortez, the Industrial Revolution changed the face of the modern novel forever. Discuss, citing specific examples.
Come on, girl! Okay, the Industrial Revolution to me is just like a story I know called The Puppy Who Lost His Way. The world was changing, and the puppy was getting bigger. So you see, the puppy was like industry, in that they were both lost in the woods, and nobody, especially the little boy,
society,
knew where to find them. Except that the puppy was a dog. But the industry, my friends, that was a revolution. Socialism in America rules!
Miss Cortez, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh my goodness gracious. What are we going to do with America, ladies and gentlemen? What are we going to do? Are we going to be able to pull ourselves out of this? Are we going to be able to say, look at, we need to reevaluate the path and the journey that we are going down, because this one just is not working over the last 50 years. It's just not working anymore. And so we need to definitely find another way. We need to find another way. And that's one of the reasons, seriously, that I voted for Donald Trump, is because I thought, well, the stinky Republicans have had it for so long, and they haven't done such a great job. And the demon crazy Democrats have had it for a long time, and they haven't done such a great job. We're never going to get a independent in there. It's never going to happen. So we might as well try something different. And I'll tell you, he is, if you really look at the things he has accomplished during the time he's president, and you take your political foonaniness out of it, he's done a pretty darn good job. And it seems like the only people that don't like him are all the people who take his money free of will. Now, isn't that a message? So, you got to think about these things when you start looking at the choices and the decisions that you're going to make over the next coming years. It is pretty clear to me, folks, that we had better realize that what we've been doing and who we've been putting our trust and confidence in is not working. Hey, this is the YouTube site. I want you guys to go to it and subscribe. We're just opened it up. I loaded up about 500 videos. It's Jesse Torrero and YouTube Jesse Torrero, YouTube channel Jesse Torrero, and check it out. Open it up and take a look at it. It's got all kinds of stuff here that that you'll find very fun and very interesting. And there are hundreds and hundreds. Probably by the time I get done loading everything up, Tanya Tucker, Vincent Spano, Michael Nuri, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Richard Graff, different air checks and radio stations I used to work at, Eric Roberts. The list goes on and on and on of all these great videos that you'll be able to see. The red carpets, the Oscars, the Grammys, Country Music Awards, videos, commercials, interviews, award shows, Chasing the Fires, Armand Assante, great interview I had with the great actor Armand Assante, people in the studio, Robin here, Burt Ward and Robin. There's so many wonderful videos here. Roger Neal, the 87th annual Hollywood Christmas Parade. So there's a lot of good things to check out here on the Jesse T Show, the Jesse Torrero YouTube channel. And we're going to be starting a contest here free subscription, and then we're going to pick several people to go hang out with me at the different award shows. It might be the Oscars, it might be the Grammys, it might be the Spirit Awards, it might be a premiere, it might be a red carpet, it might be in the studio when we bring in a great guest like Tom Sizemore or Michael Madsen or something like that. It might be a concert, but we're going to have you tag along with Dan the Man and me, Jesse T, and I guarantee you'll have a great time. So that's Quincy Jones right there from years ago. All right. Hey, it's the Jesse T Show. Guys, it's been fun. Thanks a lot for hanging in with me with my new toys here. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. We'll get a lot smoother. All right? Hey, every day, Monday through Friday, the Jesse T Show right here, live.